ஆயர் குலத்துதித்த மாயன் கோபால செய்யும் ஜாலத்தை கேளடி தாயே யசோதா உந்தன் ஆயர் குலத்துதித்த மாயன் கோபால கிருஷ்ணன் செய்யும் ஜாலத்தை கேளடி தையலே கேளடி உந்தன் பையனை போலவே தையலே கேளடி உந்தன் பையனை போலவே தையலே கேளடி உந்தன் பையனை போலவே இந்த வையகத்தில் ஒரு பிள்ளை அம்மம்மா நான் கண்டதில்லை இந்த வையகத்தில் ஒரு பிள்ளை அம்மம்மா நான் கண்டதில்லை தாயே யசோதா உந்தன் ஆயர் குலத்துதித்த மாயன் கோபால கிருஷ்ணன் செய்யும் ஜாலத்தை கேளடி காலினில் சிலம்பு கொஞ்ச கண்ணன் காலினில் சிலம்பு கொஞ்ச கண்ணன் கைவளை குலுங்க காலினில் சிலம்பு கொஞ்ச கைவளை குலுங்க முத்து மாலைகள் அசைய தெரு வாசலில் வந்தான் காலினில் சிலம்பு கொஞ்ச கைவளை குலுங்க முத்து மாலைகள் அசைய தெரு வாசலில் வந்தான் வானோர்கள் எல்லாம் மகிழ மானிடர் எல்லாம் புகழ வானோர்கள் எல்லாம் மகிழ மானிடர் எல்லாம் புகழ நீலவண்ண கண்ணன் அவன் நித்தமாடினான் நீலவண்ண கண்ணன் அவன் நித்தனாடினான் பாலன் என்று தாவி அணைத்தேன் யசோதா பாலன் என்று தாவி அணைத்தேன் யசோதா அணைத்த என்னை மாலையிட்டவன் வாயில் முத்தமிட்டானடி அணைத்த என்னை மாலையிட்டவன் போல் வாயில் முத்தமிட்டானடி பாலனல்லடி உன் மகன் ஜாலமிக செய்வதெல்லாம் பாலனல்லடி உன் மகன் ஜாலமிக செய்வதெல்லாம் நாணமிக வாகுதடி நாலு பேர்கள் கேட்க சொல்ல நாணமிக வாகுதடி தாயே யசோதா உந்தன் ஆயர் குல துதித்த மாயன் கோபால கிருஷ்ணன் செய்யும் ஜாலத்தை கேளடி முந்தா நாள் அந்தி நேரத்தில் சொந்தமுடன் கிட்டே வந்து முந்தா நாள் அந்தி நேரத்தில் சொந்தமுடன் கிட்டே வந்து விந்தைகள் அநேகம் செய்து விளையாடினான் பந்தளவாயினும் வெண்ணை தந்தால் விடுவேன் என்று பந்தளவாயினும் வெண்ணை தந்தால் தான் விடுவேன் என்று முந்து துகிலை தொட்டிழுத்து போராடினான் அந்த வாசுதேவன் இவன்தான் அந்த வாசுதேவன் இவன்தான் யசோதா அந்த வாசுதேவன் இவன்தான் அடி யசோதா அந்த வாசுதேவன் இவன்தான் மைந்தன் என்று இழுத்தணைத்து மடிமேல் வைத்து சுந்தர முகத்தை பார்க்கும் வேளையிலே வாய் திறந்து மைந்தன் என்று இழுத்தணைத்து மடிமேல் வைத்து சுந்தர முகத்தை பார்க்கும் வேளையிலே வாய் திறந்து இந்திர ஜாலம் போல ஈருலேகம் காண்பித்தான் இந்திர ஜாலம் போல ஈரேலுலகம் காண்பித்தான் தாயே யசோதா தாயே யசோதா உந்தன் நாயர் குல கொழுந்து மாயன் கோபால கிருஷ்ணன் செய்யும் ஜாலத்தை கேளடி தாயே Translation. Oh Mother Yasoda, listen to the tricks done by that illusionist Krishna born in your
Mataji, your voice is breaking, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
born in your Okay, okay. So now it is audible.
Yes, Mataji, now it
Oh,
is.
Mother Yashoda, listen to the tricks. Listen to the tricks done by that illustrious Krishna born in your cowherd tribe. Oh, lady, listen, view. I have never seen a boy like yours in this whole universe. With the anklets ringing in his feet, with the bangles shaking with a pearl necklace moving, he came to the street front. The heavenly things and all beings praised him. Blue skinned Krishna danced, thinking him to thinking him to be just an infant. I gathered and hugged him. Like a husband, he kissed me on the mouth. I who hugged him, your son is not an infant. If I were to hear people talk about all the tricks he plays, I will be so embarrassed. At dusk day before yesterday, he came proprietarily near me. He did many amazing things and played. He struggled with me by catching hold and pulling at the front of my sari, saying that he would only let go if I gave him at least a ball-sized roll of butter.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhanvat pranams.
Pardon, Mataji. Mataji, a paragraph is waiting.
Sorry,
Shall
Mataji.
I read?
One more para, Mataji. Okay,
One more
yeah.
paragraph.
Go on.
Oh, Yashoda, verily he said, Vasudeva himself, thinking him to be my son. I lifted and hugged him and placed him on my lap. As I was looking at his beautiful face, he opened his mouth and, like Indra's magic, he showed me the 14 worlds. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat pranams. Thank you so much, Mataji. It's a very beautiful, it's an epic song in Tamil to show the love and affection of Yashoda and Krishna's mischievousness. It's a very beautiful song. Dhanvat pranams, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Lakshmi Mataji, today you can sing Mangalacharan Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna dear devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanashalagaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadadikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rubam Sagrajadam Saganarahunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि ओम तत्सत Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat
Krishna
pranams.
Mataji, thank you so much. Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranams. All right, very
Dandavat.
nice. So let's begin our class. So we are in which chapter now? Hare Krishna.
Chapter
8th.
Chapter 8. Yeah. Sorry, Prabhuji, what's the name of the chapter?
The last instruction.
Hari Bol. Yes, the last instruction. That's the name of the chapter. So we started reading it yesterday. It is such a beautiful chapter. We covered, I think, more than 10 pages yesterday. It is so very interesting. Especially some of the conversations which Srila Prabhupada had with his disciples, and the way he kind of answered all the questions raised by Rameshwara and other devotees also so beautifully. Those were like it was like the conversation happening between Arjuna and Krishna in the Gita, no? Like that it was happening. And the conversation which happened between Arjuna and Krishna in Bhagavad Gita was not for them, it was for us to impart the learning. So, like that, whatever similar situation had happened, and all that was instructions was for us as humans to know. So beautiful it was. So, yeah, who would like to summarize? Hare Krishna.
Mataji, may I summarize?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just highlight the important information, like
Okay,
make it
okay,
little bit.
Mataji.
Yes,
The
Prabhuji.
narration of the last instruction chapter, three parts. Yesterday we discussed. One area is Bombay, first thing happening, and then Bhubaneswar, and then third one is Mayapur, Vrindavana. Bombay, the discussion gone, the whatever the conspiracy regarding that with Dr. Patel, and Patel answered the Americans always making propaganda like that. The answer given by Srila Prabhupada is Manushyanam Sahasreshu. One word given because everybody has to give one person from their home for this movement. He requested Prabhupada. And always for that Manushyanam Sahasreshu, out of 1,000 person, nobody is willing to make his life perfect. That is Gali Yuga. So the incompletion of building visited by Prabhupada and then shoot to Rasavigari, I will make a good place for your installation. And then that way, then regarding that things, conspiracy, brainwashing, and other things in the that case in the court of America against the temple president Adi Kesava Swami, because the thing is they don't read our script books. If they read books, then that will be easy for us, and they will make a clarity. And then they moved scenery, whatever the question asked by Rameswara, the Srila Prabhupada answered, and simply said their arguments are childish and foolish. That way Prabhupada answered. And then the scenery moves to Bhubaneswar. Bhubaneswar, one word Srila Prabhupada quoted from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Because in Bhubaneswar, Sattva Swarupa engaged as a personal assistant with Srila Prabhupada. And they quoted Sarva Dharman Parityaja, surrender to me and give up all other religions. That quote, why he said? Because only surrender, what for surrender, what is God and what is creation, what is your position, and why should you surrender? That realization after surrendering Krishna only, the people can get, like that told. And he mentioned the scenario happened in Calcutta court, and the lawyer advocate, big lawyer advocate Mr. Ghosh brought all the scriptural books which written by Srila Prabhupada, and told to judge, jury, and these are the things you must learn, and it will make you clarity. And whatever the question you are asking, all the things are there like that. At Mayapur, the eight Bengali Kurukula boys and other 100 devotees welcomed with the flowers, and Prabhupada went peacefully, liking that welcoming. And then during that tenure, the judgment come from America. The judgment told the religion, what you call the, because the movement is very clear, and the movement is bona fide religion only. The movement is belong to bona fide religion, and there is no not at all worry. And Justice John Leahy and Edward Shapiro, Merrill Crossover, these juries, and cleared the statement. The selection of religion and the selection of movement, it is a personal one for the people, and nobody had to put what you call nobody can put nobody can make a objection like that. So it is a freedom of religion and selection. It is a right for our citizens like that. Then this way we concluded yesterday. Hare Krishna Mata.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. So beautifully summarized, Prabhuji. The way you narrated the scenes in different location wise of how what happened. Very beautiful, Prabhuji. Hari bol to you. A big, let's all say a big Hari bol to Muttamanikam Prabhuji for the wonderful seva he's doing. The beautifully
Haribol,
narrated
Swami.
Hari bol. So nice. Okay, so let's continue then from page 334, right? Uh, so just go a little up, Prabhuji. Uh, we read, did we go to 334 or 33?
34. It has
34.
been subjected to in recent months. First para.
Yeah,
Over.
till the first paragraph we completed. Yeah, subject and is. We should start from my mission is now successful. Yeah, correct. So, Palli Mata, okay. Palli Mataji, would you like to read first and then Lakshmi Mataji? Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. My mission is now successful. Shit, Srila Prabhupada. In 1965, I went there. This is now recognized after 12 years. I was loitering in the street alone, carrying the books. Nobody cared. Krishna is wonderful always. He is the most powerful, wonderful person, and he can do anything wonderful. Srila Prabhupada continued to make appreciative remarks about the judge's decision. He said he had feared the case might have taken 14 years, and yet it had not even taken 14 hours. Krishna was so wonderful. March 22. The senior devotees in Mayapur felt Srila Prabhupada was too ill to travel and that he should remain there and recuperate. Besides, reports from Bombay were conflicting. Surabhi Swami, knowing that Prabhupada's quarters were not finished, were, wanted more time, so he wired Prabhupada, requesting him not to come. But Giriraja and others had been arranging a lecture program for Srila Prabhupada at a Pandal in Azad Maidan in Bombay. And Giriraja had written inviting Prabhupada. Prabhupada, considering the opportunities for preaching, and decided to go. He had his secretary send a telegram from Mayapur to Bombay. Prabhupada arriving Tuesday at 13:50 hours have at 1350 have rooms ready in whatever condition. But on Prabhupada's arrival in Bombay, he was so weak that he could not walk down the steep stairs from the airplane, and the airline personnel arranged for him to be lowered to the ground by hydraulic lift. Once he was on the ground, several devotees assisted him in walking. although he appeared frail. He smiled brightly when he saw the devotees waiting for him at the airport.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna land.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Dhanvat Pranams. Lakshmi Mataji, would you like to continue next? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna land was intense with activity as some 200 workers plied their various skills in constructing the temple hotel complex under the direction of Surabhi Swami and his assistants. A dozen men were cutting redstone slabs to cover the concrete superstructure of the hotel. Almost 50 marble workers were chipping away with hammers, making decorative columns and arches in the temple, and masons and interior finishers were working on the theatre building. Much of the work was completed, yet everything still appeared bare, like bones without flesh. The hotel had no windows or doors, and of course, no furniture or curtains, and the temple was mostly an unfinished structure. The work crews were moving quickly, concentrating especially on Srila Prabhupada's quarters on the top floor of one of the hotel towers. As Srila Prabhupada entered his beautiful quarters at Hare Krishna land, he remarked that no one could outdo Surabhi Swami. I think I haven't such place to live anywhere else in the world, he said. Los Angeles and New York are big cities, and London, Paris, but nobody can present such a luxurious royal palace. Seeing how the one large room was arranged to facilitate his different activities, Srila Prabhupada said, "This is like my room at the Radha Damodara temple. In one corner I am writing, in another corner I am sitting, in another corner I am taking prasadam." The comparison was odd, since the Radha Damodara place was a tiny cell, yet Srila Prabhupada saw them as related, the beginning in Vrindavana and the apex in Bombay. In either place, he was the same person, humbly taking a little prasadam, writing his books, and ambitiously planning for spreading Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada discussed with several of his disciples and Dr. Sharma about his daily routine in Bombay. He said he would come down for a darshana of the deity and would lecture once a week on Sunday. On special occasions, he would see a visitor in his quarters, but rarely. Generally, he said, people come to visit
Hare
and
Krishna
say,
Mataji, with not visible Mataji screen.
Hare Krishna. Oh, yeah. Muthumanikam Prabhuji, is, I think he's sharing again. Yeah.
I'll read Mataji. I have the physical copy, Mataji.
Yes, yes, Mataji. You continue, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Generally, he said, people come to visit and say, how are you? How are you feeling? And he takes an hour or half hour even. So what is the use of wasting time like that? How are you? Everyone knows that I'm not feeling well. Hare Krishna Mataji, now.
Dhanvat Pranams, Mataji. Yeah. Kambar Prabhuji, would you like to read next? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother. So they can come to the temple from room in the morning, said Kamala Krishna Goswami. Yes, said Prabhupada. If they actually want to see me, I am going there. They can see me for a half hour. And for talking, there is no need of talking. How are you? How are you feeling? This is not talking. Instead, said Gargamuni Swami, they can buy some of your books downstairs. Yes, said Prabhupada, nodding approvingly. This is a waste of time. I want to stop this. To answer all these things, how are you? By saving this time and energy, he could work on his book writing. Devotees assured him that everyone would appreciate the schedule and would be happy that he was working on the 10th canto. Think I shall be I think I shall be able to work from today, Prabhupada declared. Now I have got very nice place, all full freedom, so there will be no difficulty. That Prabhupada would not take any morning walks went without saying. Everyone closely involved with Srila Prabhupada had come to accept a new way of living, with no morning walks and very few classes. Someone suggested that Prabhupada might like to walk on the road, but even that seemed to be too difficult. Certain managerial affairs Prabhupada would try to avoid, although often to no avail, such as concerning the delays in completing the construction work at Bombay. He could hear the sounds of the work, and sometimes it was noisy, but it was the slowness that perturbed him. Sometimes he would sit silently for hours and then remark to his servant or secretary that he was very upset for the delays. You are sincere worker, Prabhupada told the devotees in charge. But no intelligence. I can see that this construction work is not going on. Am I to close my eyes? I can do that, but I'm a sensible man. How can I close my eyes? They are all giving their excuses.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Pushpa Mataji, would you like to read next? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat pranams.
Srila Prabhupada had no regular doctor. From time to time, a Kavi Raja might show up to give a diagnosis and some medicine, but Prabhupada wouldn't take it very seriously. He didn't consider these Kaviraj are very qualified, and if the medicine tasted bitter or produced any bad effect, he would stop taking it. Everything was up to Krishna, and the doctor couldn't change that. Prabhupada mentioned the relative merits of Ayurvedic and homeopathic medicine, but like any other mundane topic, medicine was something he showed little interest in it. The days went by peacefully, with mild, pleasant breezes always passing through Srila Prabhupada's room. He, his intelligence was always sharp and alert, yet his health did not improve. Goswami had come from Mayapur and had been intimately serving Srila Prabhupada, but he had to return to Bengal for important preaching duties. Srila Prabhupada said there was no doubt that Bhavanand was the best at giving massage and taking personal care of his spiritual master, but the personal servant's duty were not as important as preaching. Srila Prabhupada would repeatedly mention that the ISKCON leader should prepare to carry on without his direct management. One day he was recalling some of the incidents of his first year in New York City when suddenly he began speaking of the future. Don't spoil it, he said. Now it is up to you, my senior man. I can part away from you. My health is not good. I am old man. It is not surprising. Now you GBC young boys, you are American expert. You have all intelligence, so you don't spoil it. Let the moment go forward move. You have a lot of nice places. Don't be anxious for. And even if I go, where is the harm? I have given my ideas and direction in my books. Just you have to see it. I think I have done my part. It is it not? Do you think so or not? Yes, you have done everything. Still, we want the whole Bhagavatam Srila Prabhupada. That is that will be done, Srila Prabhupada. Even it is not full, there is no loss. You are competent. You can take charge. Now you can take charge of all the money and let me remain free from management. My only request is don't spoil it. I have sometimes chastised so that it may not be spoiled. Prabhupada said that for him to see that things were going so nicely under his ISKCON leader would make him happy. And I will go on writing books. That will be alright. He said there was no need eat anymore. Since he was not physically active, there was no purpose in taking a lunch of chapatis and rice. Hare Krishna Mata Ji Pranam.
Dandavat pranams, Mataji. Krishnadas Prabhuji, would you like to read next? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mate. Giriraja expressed that it was the pleasure of Prabhupada's devotees to see him eat and relish prasadam. But Srila Prabhupada disregarded this and said the Brain could be kept active just by a little fruit or even milk. These moods, Prabhupada speaking of retirement and fasting, even hinting of passing away, were only occasional moods. They were very real, practical, and sober, but he would soon turn to other things, promising his continual involvement with his disciples, his movement, and the world. After a brief spell of such talking, he would again be commenting fiercely on the follies of the scientists and politicians. Srila Prabhupada occasionally talked of traveling to a place better for his health. It was May and Bombay was hot. Soon the monsoons would come. He had considered going to Kashmir because the air and water were reputedly good for health, but no suitable accommodation could be found there, and the weather was too cool. Then one day he received a visit from Sriman Narayan, the former governor of Gujarat. You should take care of your health, said Sriman Narayan. I hope you get better. Oh, this is just an old machine, Prabhupada laughed. The more you cure it, the more it gets worse. But my work never stops. That keeps on going. My main work is to write these books, and that is going on. Several other Indian guests were present, and they at once began recommending good places for health: Srinagar, Kashmir, Dehradun, Mussoorie, Simla, Haridwar. Yes, the water in Haridwar is good, said Sriman Narayan, but better than that would be in Rishikesha, where the Ganges flows. Whatever places are on the bank of the Ganges, the water will be very good. Let us arrange for that. From that moment, going to Rishikesha became a definite plan, and Prabhupada prepared to leave Bombay within a week.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Bhagilakshmi Mataji, would you like to read today? Would you like to try once? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Bhagilakshmi Mataji, you're on mute if you're speaking. Okay, Mutamanikam Prabhuji, you can read Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The first week in Rishikesha was idyllic, heavenly and perfect weather, and hopes of Prabhupada eating and recovering. But on the eighth night, a violent storm hit, and with the storm came a drastic turn in Prabhupada's health. He said the end was near, and he asked to go immediately to Vrindavana in case Krishna wanted him to depart from the world very soon. The devotees in Krishna had been in high spirits, and so had Srila Prabhupada. While crossing the Ganges by boat, Prabhupada had requested a drinking water to be fetched from the center of the river. He had liked the lodge provided by his host, and he had even gone to the kitchen to show his disciple how to cook. Word had spread through the pilgrimage tourist town that A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami was present, and Prabhupada had agreed to hold a darshana for 5 to 6 p.m. daily. The room had always been crowded at the hour with 40 to 50 people, including Western hippies and seekers, as well as Indians on pilgrimage and vacation. Although Srila Prabhupada's voice had been extremely faint, he had spoken with force, stressing Bhagavad Gita as it is. When an American hippie had questioned him skeptically, Prabhupada had replied, "You can't understand because you are gracie." And when a lady had put forward materialistic welfare work as the highest good, Prabhupada had replied, "Your compassion is as valuable as blowing on a boil to heal it." Only a few disciples were the Prabhupada in Krishikesha, and they had deemed it was wonderful treat. Not only had Prabhupada directed the cooking, but he had told stories while cooking. He had said that only a lazy man could not cook, And then he told a Bengali story, the story of a lazy man, to illustrate. There was a king who decided that a lazy man in his kingdom could come to the charity house and be fed. So many men came and all claiming, I am a lazy man. The king then told his minister to set fire to the charity house, and all but two men ran out to the burning building. One of the two men said, my back is becoming very hot from the fire, and the other advised just turn over to the other side. The king then said, these are actually lazy men, fed them. But on the evening of May 15, Srila Prabhupada could neither sleep nor work at his dictation. The storm, a harbinger of the monsoon season, knocked out of electric power in Krishikesh. Since the fans were not running and the window shutters had to be closed because of the wind, the room became very hot. At 5 in the morning, Srila Prabhupada called for Tamala Krishna Goswami and said he was feeling weak. Tamala Krishna massaged Prabhupada for an hour. Even at dawn, the wind did not let up and the sand was blowing. The storm and the power failure continued the next night. Tamala Krishna asked Prabhupada about swelling in his hands and feet. And Prabhupada replied, annoyed, why are you bothering? It's my body and I am not disturbed. But then he added, from the material point of view, it is not good because please consider how everything may be turned over to the GVC so that in my absence everything will go on. You may make a will and I will sign it. He was talking definitely about things that before he had only alluded to. Suddenly, at 1:30 a.m., Prabhupada rang his bell, and Tamala Krishna and Siragora Gopinatha responded. From beneath his mosquito net, he said, as I was telling you, the symptoms were not good. If it was time for him to pass away, he said, then let it be in Vrindavana. Since he wanted to leave immediately, the devotees stayed up all night packing and preparing to leave. Train reservations were not available, however, so they decided to go by car. As they turned off the Delhi-Agra road, Srila Prabhupada, for the first time the stonemaker, Bhaktivedanta Swami Mark, they soon met up with the Gunar Nawab, who was waiting on the motorcycle and who joyfully sped ahead to tell the devotees at the Krishna Balaram Mandir that Srila Prabhupada was here. At the gate of the temple, a big Kirtana party, including all Kurukula children, has gathered to greet Prabhupada with the chanting and dancing. 4 devotees carried out Prabhupada in a plangon to the temple hall, where he offered his respects to the two lords, Krishna and Balarama. After the Arati ceremony, honoring Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada spoke briefly to the assembled devotees. If
Hare
death
Krishna,
took place,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams. Yeah. So, Lakshmi Mataji, would you like to continue next? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. If death takes place, he said, let it take place here. Seeing his demeanor and hearing him speak these unexpected words, some of the devotees in the room began to cry. So he continued, there is nothing to be said new. Whatever I have to say, I have spoken in my books. Now try to understand it and continue your endeavors. Whether I am present or not present, it doesn't matter. As Krishna is living eternally, similarly, the living being also lives eternally. But Kirtir Yasyasa Jivati. One who has done service to the Lord lives forever. So you have been taught to serve Krishna. So with Krishna, our life is eternal. the temporary disappearance of this body, it doesn't matter. The body is meant for disappearance. So live forever by serving Krishna. After one day in Vrindavana, Srila Prabhupada wrote, I was staying in Rishikesha hoping to improve my health, but instead I have become a little weaker. Now I have come back to my home, Vrindavan. If anything should go wrong, at least I will be here in Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada called for Tamala Krishna Goswami. There are two things, he said, trying to survive and to prepare for death. It is better to plan for the worst. Arrange to always have 3 to 4 men with me. Have Kirtana and read Bhagavatam all the time. Now I am trying to take little food. Parikshit Maharaj would not even take water. Seeing Srila Prabhupada's mood, Tamal Krishna mentioned the need for a will, and Prabhupada agreed. The writing of the will would not be done with the attitude that the end had come, but in the spirit of preparing for the worst. It also meant finishing things so they would not have to be done at the last minute. Prabhupada was concerned that his movement continue securely with all his properties in the possession of his disciples within the institution and all his institutions made clear for the future. These matters should be dispatched now in a will, and the GBC men should gather in Vrindavana to make these last arrangements and to be with him.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank you,
Chandra
Mataji.
Pranas Mataji. Hare Krishna. Valli Mataji, would you like to read next? Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Tamala Krishna wanted to double check to see that Prabhupada actually wanted all the GBC men from all over the world to connect. Would be costly and demanding. So he wanted to be sure that Prabhupada really wanted it. When Srila Prabhupada assured him that he did, Tamala Krishna, who saw his service as responding to whatever Srila Prabhupada desired, also spoke in favor of the idea. Because they love you, said Tamala Krishna. I am sure they will all want to come and be with you. Your love for me, said Srila Prabhupada, will be shown by what is that?
Shown by how much you cooperate.
By how much you cooperate to keep this institution together after I am gone. The word was sent to all GBC secretaries worldwide. Srila Prabhupada might depart very soon, and he wanted them to be with him in Vrindavana. As soon as possible, the GBC men left their duties and came to him. The GBC men met and decided that aside from Prabhupada's will, which should which would secure the ISKCON properties, and aside from making all the bank accounts within ISKCON secure, there were also a few questions which they should put before Prabhupada before it was too late. These questions, such as how future disciples would be initiated, would have to be answered. Otherwise, they would become a source of speculation and havoc after Srila Prabhupada's departure. A selected committee from the GBC came from Srila Prabhupada as he sat up in bed in the main room downstairs. Varupa Dasa Goswami was to be the spokesman, but he felt shy and uneasy to come directly before Srila Prabhupada and ask about what should be done after his passing away might seem impertinent, but it was necessary. Srila Prabhupada himself had requested that the GBC come to Vrindavana to take care of exactly this kind of business. Srila Prabhupada said, Satsvarupa, we were all asked by the rest of the GBC to come to ask some questions. These are the members of the original GBC as you first made it out. Our first question is about the GBC members. We want to know how long should they remain in office. Srila Prabhupada spoke slowly and deeply. They should remain for good. Selected men are chosen so that they cannot be changed. Rather, if some competent men are found, they should be added. Sat
Hare Krishna
Swarupa.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Naganut pranams. Uh, Pushpa Mataji, would you like to read next? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji Pranam.
Mm.
So Sarupa asked what to do if GVC member gave up his post, and Prabhupada said that the GVC body should either elect another man. Our next question. So Sarupa proceed. Concerned initiation in the future, particularly at that time when you are no longer with us. We want to know how a first and second initiation would be conducted. Yes, said Srila Prabhupada. I shall recommend some of you that he had already described many times throughout his Bhakti Vedanta purport was now being implemented. His disciples would become gurus and accept disciples of their own. Satsarupa next asked about the BBT. At present, he said, no translated work to be published without you're seeing and approving them. So the question is there any system of for publishing work in the future, work that you may not see, that we have to examine expertly? Prabhupada replied. He accepted the principle that the future work would be translated from the Sanskrit, and he cautioned, but amongst my disciples, I don't think there are many who can translate properly. Srila Prabhupada went on to describe an special qualification for translating Sanskrit Vaishnava literature. It would take a realized soul, he said. Otherwise, simply by imitating ABCD, it will not help. My purport are liked by people because it is presented as practical experience. It cannot be done unless one is realized. Srila Prabhupada had already given the outline for his will to Tamara Krishna Goswami. The GBC would be the ultimate governing authority in ISKCON. Three trustees would be assigned to each ISKCON property. The GBC was to make a thorough draft and make the will legal. For Srila Prabhupada, a will means protection for his ISKCON. As Srila Prabhupada had explained, a devotee has not a tinge of self interest. Everything is for Krishna. But in his purity, he must not be naive. ISKCON was a large, growing organization of properties and monies intended 100% for use in devotional services of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada called on GBC to be vigilant. At times, he liked this. It became especially clear that the day was approaching when Srila Prabhupada's children would have to grow up and lead, manage, protect, and expand his society on their own. These might well be their last chances to learn directly from him and to be close with him for chanting the holy name and dedicating themselves utterly to carrying out his desire for ISKCON. Hare Krishna Mata Dandava Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Naganut pranams Mataji. Krishnadas Prabhuji, would you like to read next? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishnadas Prabhuji, you're on mute, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
A few days later,
Yes,
the final
Mataji.
a few days later, the final version of the declaration of will was notarized in the presence of a lawyer. The GBC men, each of whom had pressing leadership and administrative duties within their respective zones, began to feel the need to return to their posts. When some of them expressed their plans to return to their areas of work, Prabhupada gave his permission. They had been together for a week, and now, one by one, they began to disperse. Within another week, most of them had left Vrindavana. Srila Prabhupada and his small staff remained, and the constant chanting continued, performed by the devotees of the Krishna Balaram temple. As June came in Vrindavana, the weather remained very hot. The sky, which had been a clear blue, turned hazy as the first moisture arrived. Between noon and 4 p.m., the ground was too hot for bare feet, and the residents of Brindavana would stay home, confirming most of their activities to either the morning or the late afternoon and evening. Even eating was excluded from the midday hours, since the heat killed the appetite. The Yamuna was shallow and hot, giving little relief. The cows were gaunt from lack of grass and feed, and occasional hot, searing winds raised dust clouds. Flies and mosquitoes died in the air. One of the few pleasant features of summer was the fragrance of bale flowers that climbed along the walls around Prabhupada's garden, somehow thriving in the dry heat. In the first day of June, Srila Prabhupada experienced some hope of recovery. He asked to resume his morning rides, and when being brought down to the car, he said, "Soon I will get down and walk myself." His old friend from Allahabad, Dr. Ghosh, came and diagnosed his disease as anxiety for the devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Prabhupada agreed, but he didn't follow the doctor's orders, since they include having his blood pressure checked regularly and taking various medicines and special treatments. But by receiving massages from his servants, he felt he was improving. At this rate, he said he would be all right after a month and a half. But he stressed, "I am not leaving Vrindavana until I am well."
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dhanvat pranams. Yeah. Ekambar Prabhuji, would you like to read next? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. July brought the rainy season to Vrindavana. Clouds began building from the beginning of the month, and by mid-July it would be raining daily. The perfumed odor of the kadamba flower was heavy in the air, and after a rain, the neem blossom would give off their onion-like aroma, cooing and calling. The peacocks, with their full feathered tails, became ecstatic, dancing, cooing, and calling. Sometimes a sudden rainstorm would come even while Srila Prabhupada was sitting in his bed or at his dictating desk to move him inside as quickly as possible. Sometimes, when rain prevented his using the garden, he would recline instead on the little broken little porch overlooking the garden. But at least the 120-degree heat was broken and the days became more desirable. Prabhupada quietly rested and continued his day's routine, waiting to see what Krishna decided. He would often wake about 6 a.m. and open his eyes to see Tamil Krishna at his bedside. He would then extend his hand, indicating that he wanted to sit down in bed. Tamil Krishna or another servant would then lightly stroke Prabhupada's back while Srila Prabhupada spoke his mind. Very few devotees were visiting Vrindavana, and guests were rarely allowed to see Prabhupada. His wealth was not improving, nor did it seem to be at a crisis point as it had been in May. But because he was hardly eating anything, he was not building his strength. His main treatment consisted of hearing Kirtana, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. July was a good month for Srila Prabhupada's work on Srimad Bhagavatam. He continued dictating very early in the morning and in the afternoon, completing chapters 8 and 9 of the 10th canto. It was his great pleasure to do so. Working on Srimad Bhagavatam, he was completely transcendented to the physical condition despite the accompanying heart palpitations and despite his faint voice and general weakness. Even to sit, it was difficult. In that, once he began working, nothing could stop him. Speaking into the hand microphone and his dictating machine, obvious of his bodily conditions, Prabhupada described presently and periodically Aunanda Maharaj family's priest Gargamuni performed the name-giving ceremony of Baby Krishna. In his purports, Srila Prabhupada often spoke from the personal experiences and realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat pranams. So we'll stop with this today. We will continue the rest of it tomorrow. So from 3:46 we will continue tomorrow, and we will see how much we can finish. Tomorrow also. Tomorrow I'm starting to travel, but tomorrow I can still take the class. I don't think I will have any issue. From Saturday we will not have class. Saturday anyways we will not have. Saturday, Sunday, I will return back only on Friday. Only on Friday I'm returning back, Friday afternoon. So till then, I don't know. I will be traveling continuously. I'm not sure of the network connectivity also. So we'll see if I get some network. I'll definitely message you all that day. We can have a class. So we will see. But my humble request to all of you is to make sure that we are on the verge of finishing chapter 8 and this book also. So this is a good time for you all to revise the chapters before we start our next book. So because as soon as we finish this book, we will start our next book. So the next book I am planning is Beyond Birth and Death. That is the book I'm planning. So it's a small book, but very impactful one. So we can read that book together, and then we will one by one we will continue with the next books. So just excuse me because this is a pre-planned trip, so I'll have to see. I'm not sure how much I can support, but I will see whenever possible we will have class. But use this time to please revise all the 8 chapters so that in the recordings also I will get it from Deepti Mataji. It's been pending for a while, I know. But Deepti Mataji also said she's been stuck in a couple of things, so she'll give me the recordings. So I posted the recordings of all the previous classes till I think till last month everything has been posted. This month some are still pending. I will get it from Deepti Mataji. I'll share it with all of you shortly, and then you can listen to all the recordings or you can read the book, whichever is fine, whichever you are comfortable with, but go through so that then it will be we can begin our next book. Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. If I get all PDF, then I will revise and will make one shortcut notes.
Sure, Prabhuji. I will send you all the PDFs I have, Prabhuji. I can do that.
Okay, Mataji.
I will
Hare
send
Krishna.
it to you. Hare Krishna. Danut pranams, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Very nice. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Tomorrow, please join without fail. Okay, tomorrow we'll see how much we can finish. Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन दंडवत प्रणाम्स
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Dandat
Mataji.
Pranams.
Tandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mother,